for the word. Thank you for all things. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Father, for the Creator. You are the Creator. Thank you for creating all things. That means Isaiah 45:7. Evil. You create evil, necessary, and workers of darkness and workers of light. So thank you, Father, for creating everything that has not happened, everything that ever will be is what if it hasn't happened yet, you're the creator. So thank you for being sovereign. Thank you for creating salvation. Without salvation, we'd be under the Old Testament. In the beginning was the Word. The Father is the Word. So when I give thanks to the Word, I give thanks not to some deity, little g, God in the sky, but I give all glory and edify the Most High. So thank you, Father. You are the Word. The Word became flesh. We're not bound by the Old Testament laws of flesh. That is the testament. It's a test. Although temptation might sound, that's the Old Testament, remember? It's a test, not temptation, but Father knows he's not gonna make a mistake. Like algebra, I'll make it mathematical for a moment. Give something over here, you're gonna have to take it away over there. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. He's the equator. He's the horizo. He will pour out a just, the measure, like a weight, like the boot on the neck. Well, that's oppression. He doesn't like oppression. Thank you, Father, for all things. So we always give, there's anybody who's in the narrow way, need to share, not hide, share, not don't hide that light. He is the light, the life, the horizo is the divider of the light and the dark. He predetermined, he separated his bride from the vessels of wrath, the goats, the greatest of all time. Greatest like pride, he had a pride, remember Old Testament. So, see if we have a conversation. See if we can hold a stream here, because the interweb, the worldwide net, you know how that works. We're all connected in this modern time, place, space, day, and age. So, what's on your radar? All right, tower, like G Wiz, 5G, age, fifth, the turning, like the wheel in the sky. They worship gods in the sky. The Word is not in the sky. Father is the Word. So, that beautiful. Bonita. Hablo español, poquito español. No español. What's going on in Mexico, huh? Wars and rumors of wars. There's always been war. Father had his pride. He had his heavens. He had the ones that he lifted, the ones that followed his agape, his Torah, his testament that was of the old flesh. Hokadesh, remember? Spirit became flesh. Now we're not bound by the flesh. He said in Paul's writing, the 13th apostle wrestled not against masse, is the eating of human flesh. So they Christ mass. They're cannibalism, but that's okay. The deadly head wound that was healed. So thought I'd come in and share this. Pearls. He said, don't cast your pearls before swine. So my treasure. What means, what has value more than anything, the Word The Word became flesh. So, where do you put your treasure? That is can ask a question. Where are you going to phone a friend? Gonna use a lifeline? Some kind of silly little reindeer game or something? Hey, how about you sink my battleship? Like World War II. 2, 3. Oh, we got 2. He said, well, there are 2 or more gathered in my agape, there all be. Their mitts, like aerosolic radiation management, like spraying. Never mind. Like, well, no, that's miss. It's a play on words. My bad. So bad, like Michael Jackson. So it's on your radar tower, standing up like a phallic. That's a tower like a Nimrod. What's up, Nimrod? All right, well, thank you, Father, for the narrow way. It's like a sieve. Narrow is the way, straight is the gate. 2 gates. The broad is the way that leads to the wide gate. Uh-oh. How do I get messages all of a sudden? Say, hold on. Or nothing. Not nothing. Nothing is, there's no such thing as 0. 0. It's 1 through 9. No such thing as free will. How about that? So, only for the 1. So, narrow is the way that leads to the straight gate. So, thank you, Father, for that. So, here we are on the Gregorian calendar. If you celebrate, television, or have a celebration, it's idolatry, idolism. Remember, he divorced his bride, Israel. Is it real or not? Is it real or is it Memorex? Maybe it's Polaroid. Maybe you took a snapshot, like a singularity, like uno, like a game of cards. You want to phone a friend? So, all right. Thank you, Father, again. For all things you create evil. So without that evil, there would be no test, would there not? So the measure that you pour out, he will pour out it just when he returns, will be poured out when he returns on you. It's not live, it's not Memorex, that's the Word. The Word became flesh. That's the Messiah. Do you know who the Messiah is? Messiah is the Word that sacrificed, crucified, suffered, said narrow is the way. Enter through the straight gate in the book of Matthew. So wars in the book of Matthew 24 and 6. So you read the scriptures ever? Do you read? Like a reed, or how about a reeve? How about to twirl and twist and change and forward and pervert? So no problem, sir, Robert. That's called Homesteaders Looking for Helpers. On as much as I don't like to Mark Zuckerberg, or like iceberg, get it? Chile? No, that's South America. Never mind. So, no, it's called Homesteaders Looking for Helpers. So, people want to go back to the ways of old. The old. Like going out and how about creating fire? Can you create fire without a lighter? How about that? Self-sufficiency. So fire, fuego. So he's going to come back. He said he has eyes of fire. Remember the Messiah, the Hamashiach. So that's what it is. So thanks for coming in, Jonathan. He was a Jewish carpenter, remember? The lion from the tribe of Judah. Like Jupiter, Melchizedek. Not like a deck of cards, like blackjack. You're gonna split the aces, double down, double demon. Homesteaders looking for helpers, Robert, because in your area, just be careful because, like I said, I hear about it's like 50-50, half full, half empty. Like I said, don't get yourself in a position where you're, you know, somebody doesn't know what they're doing. And there's a lot of people who have their shizer. Well, I don't like to say that because that's Snoop Dogg, but that's my dog. All right, I'm like a shepherd. But well, you don't want to get yourself in position to somebody doesn't, because there's a lot of people who are hungry, like myself, who have a homestead, that are have their SHTF, the fan, will have their stuff together. Dong, how about that? Like bat guano, they have their stuff together. And so here's how Robert, if I can give you from my own, you know, because I'm gonna have to do this sooner rather than not an hour, not an hour later. Well, it's half the people have a good experience, and they got some squatter who don't do nothing, jack diddly squatting. Those who don't work don't eat. Like myself, I have a building out here that if somebody could come and probably at least bring their own tools and yeah, there you go. Well, that's all I'm trying to say is that half of the experience. Look, Robert, the website, and there are others that I give you. It's called Homesteaders Looking for Helpers. There's a lot of people who are hungry, but there's a lot of people who are kicked out of their place. That sucks when you don't have put your legs down and know where you're going to sleep at night. Somebody you can wrestle, wrangle, twist, and here's how I figured out. Here's what I figured out. Robert, just hear me out. If you just game with you, because I got to do this myself eventually. I need help. My back's, I broke my back again, freaking third time. So, well, right. Well, there's a work trade, but hear me out though, Robert. There's a lot of people who are getting kicked out of their property, place, space, time, whatever. Whatever. A lot of them are in the cities. Yeah, like the carpenter here. Okay, cool. So okay, now watch, Robert. So let me just lead into this. Father's perfect, he doesn't make mistakes. I would be, Father's will, not my will, would be willing to pay somebody like $20 an hour. If they could, you're a carpenter. Can you read a tape measure? I'm not talking about in millimeters. I'm talking about in inches, so I can look at that red mark like layout. Can you put layout on a 2x6 or 4? Do you know how to read do you know how to use a framing square, a level, a chalk line? Can you set a fence post? Some basic skills. That's $20 an hour. And if you're not willing to pay somebody, there's where a lot of people make mistakes. Yeah, that people know how to use a square or read, whatever. And that's fine. Not everybody's carpenter, Robert. Some people are dentists, and some people are bloggers, and some people are, so everybody gets a different skill set, right? Some people can't even wander out in the forest and feed themselves without going in circles and dying. But let's go back to the conversation about being a Jew not in the desert, but he was a carpenter, like the Hamashiach, the Messiah, the one I love so much. Well, the Messiah was a carpenter, so we got Jonathan in here. So hear me out. So look, Robert, if you couldn't use a square or a tape measure or even set a fence post, but you could be told and taught how to do that without being more told than twice, I'd be willing to pay you 15. Somebody like you, Robert, probably is worth more than 20. To be 100% honesty, right? To be honest with you, right? Because you've made more than 20, I'm sure, with a square and a tape measure and a chalk line and a tool belt. Show up to a job site and say, hey, I'll work the first day for free, but I want 35. Well, on a job site, right? But just hear me out, okay? I'm trying to show you how this could be possible, how I looked at this. $15 an hour if you could be told, right? So if you had to do that, just hear me out, Robert. Like a carpenter's been here before. His name's Carpenter. if I could pay you $20 an hour to live on my land for $800 for a building, well, I think I'm over that right now. Like the Rusty Dragon, I really want to rent out. I need to. It's part of this ministry, and it's something that I need to establish. The Moonshine Cabins. I'm under the largest dark sky sanctuary on this whole rock. But just hear me out. So if I had a space where it was at least some people are willing to come and live out here in a tent, okay? You know what I'm saying, Robert? On homesteaders looking for helpers. They're like, I'll come live in a tent. Now look, I live in a high desert where it's cold and hot. Not that hot, not that cold, but hot and cold enough you need to take, some precautions, which are easily to do. So I figured it out, Robert, on this website, just so you know, if you're looking in your area, I'm trying to help you. It's just me and you talking. Anybody else can be a witness. Okay, Robert, just for now. Everybody else stand by. Be a little militant. Be careful, Robert. There's people who don't know what the hell they're doing on this website, but I figured it out. Like if I paid you $800 a month, $800 a month to come live at this property out here in the high desert, and I gave you the Rusty Dragon, which is a building which you could live without a whole lot of other, I'm off grid. But there's people who are willing to live in their car in a tent. Like, let me out of the city. I'm tired of the rat race. Please, I want to go back to this old lifestyle. Yeah, I like chickens. Yeah, I like to want to. There's people who already been paying a farmer or a farm hand is different than paying somebody who's going to be a laborer, right? That's what the people don't understand. Like homesteading is like farming. It's a lifestyle. It's not something you just do. It's a process. Yet, like if, for example, you need to like oil, you need to buy into the oil, the barrel, the space, the place, the time, the storage. That's a different price than actually buying the paper payment, on oil or silver or gold okay. So anyways, back to what I'm saying is that people are willing, I can see, that have a desire right now. There are many people, if you go on this website that I'm going to give you or that you have written down, okay, there you go. So you understand the labor to get up when those chickens, no matter, and sometimes they do, but they still need fed. They still need watered. I want those eggs. When I get goats out here, when I get sheep, I want that to put it in the freeze dryer. I need the abundance I want to give through this, but that's what farmers are smart, right? They put up stores for the winter. They know about winter and summer and cycles, and they look ahead for the next season. Most people are lost right in the 9 to 5. So you would understand, well, farmers can get caught in that too, but hear me out. You understand the militant, well, I don't like the millstone, like feeding them animals like grain and corn and wheat and barley and rye and oats. Never mind. I thought it'd just be funny, Robert. So, okay. But anyways, you have to have that type of mindset. Those animals depend on you, whether you are, whether you're laying in bed, which by the rooster crows, you get up anyways. You're up before most of the time, but you would understand that as a farming lifestyle. And that's a good life. It's more than most, but it provides abundance where most people struggle. But a lot of farmers are caught in the industry now, pretty soon to be automated. Okay, cool. So, all right. So moving on. Now we break that down, Robert, and we become homestead. We become self-reliant, self-sufficient, and we break away from the big chain. And I understand farming. I really do. I grew up in the concrete jungle, so I can grow up farming, but I do understand, I understand the lifestyle. It's militant. I joined the military at 17. It's something you do as a lifestyle. You don't just become a farmer. You don't become a cowboy. You don't become a gardener. Most people, you don't just throw something normally, and you should try, put something in a bucket, grow some tomatoes, potatoes, put something in your windowsill garden, and try to cut out the supply chain. But see, that's what I'm saying. That's the beautiful thing about farmers. They harvest the first fruits. That's what the scripture tells you anyways. So go with the word. Well, anyways, okay, so moving on. Militant lifestyle, farmer, whatever, there's a similarity. It's something that there's no, it's every day. That's why I love it. It's like the gospel. It's take up your cross daily, deny yourself daily, follow after me daily. Wind, rain, sleet, or snow, those animals are depending on you. So it makes for a lifestyle, which is provides abundance, which most people don't have. There's loss. I know that. That's part of farming. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away, but the farmer gets the first fruit. So I hear what you're saying about being hungry, and that's why I want to provide you back to this website, though, truly, Robert, because there's people who are homesteaders. And being a homesteader is more like a farmer. There are people who are trying to build and develop, but somebody who's developed and has boots on the ground and is already doing this, somebody, and I'm not perfect, somebody like myself who's already raised sheep and goats and, chickens and hogs and raised dog, has the ability to provide, and somewhat of excess, because like a gardener, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't just become a green thumb. It takes a lifestyle. It takes learning, and especially you have to be flexible with the season. You have to start understanding weather, because that weather affects your crops, affects your, well, flock or herd or whatever it is that you are, you know, you still have the abundance, but you still have that dependence on you. And I like that. I like that. Like a shepherd, those sheep are relying on the flock. The shepherd is relying on the dog, and well, that's just who Father made me. So the shepherd looks after his sheep. And so I want to give you yep, there you go. There you go. So you understand then, Robert. Imagine me. I grew up in the concrete jungle. I didn't grow up with that lifestyle. Straight up, 100% straightforward with you, Robert. I didn't grow up no farmer. I grew up as the minority, but I did see that. I'm, given abundance to come up to where I live, up to Oregon now, and seeing the farming lifestyle. And I live in the high desert where they raise the number one alpha. I'm not bragging, alfalfa for feed on this rock. Who and many animals, almost anyone that eats that, chews the cud or splits hoof or whatever. I'm just saying, like that eats that grain or grass, or this number one is grown right here where I'm at. I live in this. It's a hick farming town. It's not easy to move into a farming town. You don't become a local in this town till about 3 or 4 years. So, well, I can appreciate it. It's a lifestyle. Most people just think, and like where I live, a lot of people just think they're going to come out here and just do this, and they're going to. It's not. And I appreciate the farmers out here, even though a lot of them have been sold out by corporation. They came out here and did it the hard way. They earned it. Many of them were given by, whatever begottens, but anyway, still about the lifestyle, about what it takes to produce, a crop or a yield or whatever. It's not, it's a process, just like, and that's the Lord, that is the Lord, that is the word, that is Father. He is not an easy, just lotto, quick fix. That's religion. That is the city, get rich quick, get, gambling like a put, a stop, a derivative, like the stock market. There you go. It's what I mean. Where do you put your store? So, Father is a process. The Hamashiach narrows the way. So, homesteaders looking for helpers, go over there and be careful, because, like I said, there are some people who are straight that are already doing it. Well, I didn't get that, Robert, but I'm glad that I now have both. To be 100% honest, straightforward. Well, I don't like to say the word honest, because anyway, all of us are fault, right? But you know what I mean, Robert, that I still have that understanding to grow up around all of it. I think about that guy who grew up in a hick town who doesn't know any different. Yes, he has a skill set, and yes, for later and preparedness down the road and all those things. Set a trap, cut a, skin a buck, round a trout line is probably better than the guy who grew up in the city. But I'm thankful that I did grow up in the concrete jungle to understand a little bit different, and then was exposed to both. So now I have more well-rounded. I don't mean like on a ball, but I mean. So, because I do, like I said, I feel for that hick kid who grew up without seeing anybody, and all he's ever heard is nigger this and nigger that and nigger, and grandpa said nigger, and me, I don't remember. There's white niggers, black niggers, brown niggers, red niggers, and yellow niggers. Niggers and attitudes, that chip on your shoulder. I don't, you know, relationship, not religion. It's a lifestyle. Some people feel walk around like they have a chip on their shoulder. That to me is the word, because I grew up a minority. I didn't get to grow up, you know, having the choice whether I got to be around just one minority or ethnicity, because I don't do race, and you don't see that because all you see is just one, or very narrow, and that's fine. I have appreciation for people who can overcome the mindset of growing up. And then, like I said the other day, the world is flat. How do you know? Because every time everybody leaves town, they never come back, right? I don't want to do this flat or round, Robert, but I'm saying it's that hick lifestyle, you know. Um, yep, there you go. To have both. There you go. See, I like to be well rounded. There you go, Robert. So I like having both. I prefer the country. I don't want anything to do with stoplights or street, stop signs, or yellow, or green or red, because I don't see color. Where I grew up, I like that. I like that I grew up to where I grew up around all ethnicities, and color to me is not a thing. I don't see color. How are people colors? What do you mean color? I say white, black, round, red, yellow, but I mean, when I say he talked about all flesh, when I talk about a pastor and I talk about the gospel and how he didn't love everybody, you know, and that we all bleed red blood. And even, think about some people who have never seen the word, they live out in the bush and stuff, too. You talk about never been exposed to the scripture. We are given such abundance. Here we are in the worldwide net, getting caught up in the interweb, getting trapped in this, that we have this abundance, to the word. Father's the word. And so to think about racism, I know if you've been here before, I've taught and talked and over that it, race is, there's one race, and that's the human race. That's the beautiful thing about when you come to the word, you understand that Father had, you know, one thing in mind when he created this covenant, and that was that he would fulfill all flesh. And that's not everybody. Let's not get it twisted, but what it did, he didn't love everybody before. And that's the beautiful thing about the word. Well, yeah, there you go. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. That's the golden rule since the beginning of time, Robert. You go by the old natural law, laws of the land. And we're not bound by laws, because by Old Testament, laws of flesh, we're not lawless, but good for you, Robert. See, that's what I'm saying. You're genuine. So let's throw that out there one more time. I'm gonna see, what time is it? I need to feed my birds. Give me 1 second. Yeah, hold on 1 second. I gotta take care. I'm at the farm. So what I like about that, I like that you're reaching out. I just want you to be careful, but I do think there are a lot of people, Robert, on that website, on Facebook, on the homesteaders looking for helpers. Half of them are successful and have found their niche, their space. There's not a lot of people who are doing what it is, separating themselves. Most people are caught up that they need to have a job, live the American dream, whether it's whatever medium or whatever monetary class that they put themselves in. They have no self-reliance. Yeah, there you go. Even different is not bad. Change is good. Don't get stuck in your old ways. Complacency will kill you. Well, that's a military thing. Okay, so hold on. Let me go. Like I said, I could take care of my birds. It's time to feed the birds, the flock, the pollo. So give me uno momento, por favor. We're going to try to check. You want it? Yeah, look at the puppies. Let's check on the birds, Dad. Hold on. I'll be back. Hold on. Come on, puppy. feed you kids. What to feed you guys. My poor girl. Where's Juniper's at? All right, chickens are good. Let's feed the puppies in the puppy and my kitty here shortly. He was a good boy today, hanging out with my puppy. So okay. Anyways, so thanks for asking, Robert. Be careful, because again, I've seen some horror stories, but what I was telling you is that what I have found is that people need to make be able to make some additional wage. And through that website, people kind of get caught up because they don't know what to pay people. They don't know how to structure it. And again, somebody who could be paid, and that's not everybody, but this is something you could probably ask if you go on there, because there's a lot of people that are hungry where you're at. And I don't mean people who are looking for work, people who have work, hungry, who have work. So now I'm not I'm not responsible for everybody on that, but I think people who are you'll see what I'm saying. People already have a homestead together. People are raising livestock, a garden, solar, wind. People are off grid. People are living a little more organic lifestyle. I don't feel like you're going to run into somebody who's just trying to get something off the ground. So I don't know where your skill set's at, Robert. You said well, yes, I do. You said you've been a carpenter. So um, again, $800 a month for a building with some kind of, other than a tent, like a roof over your head, might be off grid, is something that I could offer to somebody. Um, Listen to this person. It's talking about football, pigskins, a rigged football game. Okay, whatever, Jim. A bunch of Anunnaki of the day chasing around a low energy swine skin. Good for you there, Jim. So, okay, anyways, like Jim Plunkett, like for the Raiders. Oh, you're at the hospital. Uh-oh. Connections at the hospital. Man, uh-oh. Yeah, I tell you what, it's raining today. Feeling it today because the hey, whatever. Everybody, we got good days and bad days. So watch out for Jim Smith. He don't know nothing about Jim Plunkett, probably. Played for the LA, like commitment to excellence, like football. But anyways, all right, talking to Robert, because Robert's actually talking about some kind of reality. And yeah, I hear you. I've been through that. It's not an easy one. So know what you're talking about. Ruptured and compressed in the same disc. Imagine that. It eventually tore and leaked out all that fluid in that disc onto my spinal column, man, for a couple, I don't know, like I don't over half a year. I think it was 6 months, almost 8 months, before it finally, it was it. It was gone. I hear you. Been there, done that. I'm a veteran, so rucksack, whatever. Done a lot of things that I shouldn't do, but that's okay. Remember, 400-pound beam, single man putting it up by himself. But whatever, get her done. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Life ain't Burger King. Can't always have it your own way. So not anymore. I ain't doing that. I ain't living like that. I'm not. I'm just not going to do it anymore. I once was lost, but I have been found. So I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to push myself over the top. Um, Whatever I have been that way a little bit, well, a lot of bit, not a little bit. Whenever I work, I don't like to do anything in a hurry. I rather do it in a regulated schedule and not miss a beat than go back to have to put all the tools back in the truck and go back and fix something you missed because you went too fast. So I hear you. Been there. That's the sciatica, man. Next comes sciatica. It does. It always leads. Numbness normally leads to a lot of sciatica. It is what it is. Have had this is now the third time I've busted vertebrae in my days on this rock that I walk. So getting better at it or worse, you tell me. So I'm dealing with it right now, and I'm not going to do anything in a quick in a hurry. I'm going to do it in a timely fashion, so I don't over. You got to pace yourself. Life's a marathon. Yeah, they won't give me nothing. They won't do that. So remember last time I went in there. Now they want to do it again. They want to go straight to orthopedic surgeon. That's okay. I'm not. I'm leaving it alone again. I'm leaving it alone. I've already been through here before. So long as I'm upright and I'm not dragging myself around like a snail for more than 6 months, I've done that before from the sciatica where literally I don't do canes. I might use a walker, even though I don't have pride and I will, and keep one around. I don't like to lean on one side. I would rather drag like whatever that snail on under the sea. I don't know what the name of that stupid snail is, but should remember. But I don't. I don't watch SpongeBob. But anyways, you know, until I can't walk, I'm gonna stay upright and move and keep. Once in motion, stays in motion. Gary, there. Thank you. I do. I drag myself so around like a snail sometimes, a little bit, but I get through it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm militant. My mind tells me I'm stronger than this. I'm not going to let this thing beat me. I'm not going to let it beat me down. And I always do. It doesn't matter. I don't think about it as time. I'm militant one day like a cross, carry it one day at a time. Take up your cross daily, deny yourself daily, follow after me daily. It tells us that in the book of Matthew, in the book of Luke, it tells us to carry our cross, okay, and follow after it. It's the same thing. It's something. I don't know if it's because of where how I was raised or too, because how even my dad was hammered, man. He bent in half like a taco in the wrong way. It's Taco Tuesday. So, well, let's talk about it. So, he was a lot worse than I am. So, whenever I think about how bad how much pain and, that, and I do now see too, 100% why my dad you know, grew up. He didn't ask where he grew up, where I was raised because of the weather. The weather affects some of us that are, you know, have some injury. People who are have electromagnetic sensitivity. That's almost like people that they said people who had a fibromyalgia were crazy. But there are some people like myself who have nerve damage that are sensitive to electrolysis. So when the sun does what it does, shoots out energy, solar energy, plasma, ionized, it just crushes some people. But people don't. It can affect cardiac arrhythmia. It can affect your heart rate, how many beats per minute, your heart rate. It can affect how much, whether you get hard rate or not. It can. Erectile dysfunction, ED, the sun has its effect on your, libido. uh, so I'm not much for masking, like I said, with things that don't fix. So careful, you know, put on the armor. That's going to be only protected. The only thing that's getting me upright, you know, moving once in motion, stays in motion. So I'm not telling you again, I'm not much for, again, I don't I'm not for narcotic snakes up a pole, pharmakia. They'll be fooled by sorcery, is what it says. The definition is pharmakia. So that's not the answer, you know. Um, so be careful. We all have a different level of, like a pain tolerance or injury. So the body's pretty resilient. I've already now personally now done this a couple times and doing it again, but it's okay. It was different when I was, nearly not a teenager, but in probably my 20s, the first time that I, had some, con- a contusion, a fracture, an abrasion. I don't know how, if you know anything. Well, that's skin or whatever. My bad. I don't know how much understanding you have on what it, like right now I have a compression fracture from, compression from crushing too much compression on my back from dropping a beam. There's different kinds of injuries. You can have multiple, uh, you know, um, different ways that you can injure, fracture, or we'll leave it at that for now. But I don't want to make this overcomplicated. But in my case, I did this already a couple times, and I think I could work through it. I don't need surgery, but they're already wanting to go to that. You know what I'm saying? And now I haven't gone there. I haven't even talked again to these people because I know immediately they want to give you the narcotics. They tried to ask me right away, which pharmacy, do you use? I said, I don't use a pharmacy. I don't do that. I don't use narcotics. I deal with pain management and that's what I do. So, there's other ways to, again, but again, we're all wired a little bit different. And I'm not telling you that, you know, in certain occasions that people don't need some kind of pain relief. For me, pain is something you manage. It's not something you mask like a band-aid. So, okay, moving on. So, well, again, I want to, like I said, so I just don't like the snakes up a pole. You know, there you go. I've been there. You love narcotics. Well, Sonia, in the moment, if it's a relief from some excruciating, I'm not sure what your pain level is. I'm not saying that they don't work, but generally they'll tear you down, rip you to pieces, and it's not something you can do every day. So I am against prior law enforcement, and I do understand I'm a first responder. I was a prior traffic crash reconstructionist, and creating this dependency on making yourself comfortably numb is not going to fix. There you go. So uh, it is what it is. Consult your snakes up a pole. We'll move on to the next subject. Okay, seriously, like what's going on right now, guys. I'm not going to go there. It is what it is. Let's move on the subject. All this talk about cartel in South America. Come on, this is all created. This current administration, the last 10 of them. I don't care how far you want to go back. I mean, it does go back where no foreign entanglements. They threw people in jail for celebrating what is known as modern day Christmas. This nation used to be a lot different. Okay, it used to be taboo, if you will, for a guy and a woman to kiss in public. It was called PDA, public affection display. You weren't allowed to do that, have that on display. You're supposed to keep, you ever heard the term in the closet? That was not, didn't have it. Well, then it came about, things then people came out of the closet. This nation, this country, this whole world has changed very quickly. You know what I'm talking about? Well, it has. Children are not supposed to see sex. That's all. I'll leave it at that. If you can't figure it out after that, then that's your own problem. But anyways, it's a different world. And it's not like, again, remember, they throw your kids in the fire, eat your kids, you know, Kronos, Moloch. This has been going on for thousands, millennia, time and millennia. So this isn't new news. Northeast, west, and south. Let me hit you straight with not some fake, lame stream media. I've been doing this for a dozen years on this platform with 6 channels or more. I'm not new to doing this. Okay, this ain't my first rodeo. Like I said, I was born in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle, like Axl Roses. You know, we're sending roses to those who opposes. You know. Anyways, never mind. So I had to put it in there. So that's a Stack Mac, whatever lyric. But you don't probably listen to Stack, but. Pay attention to what's going on, brothers, sisters. We're all one race, the human race. Father already chose his bride. Do unto others as you have done unto so. Remember the golden, the laws of the land. Something's always been here. People have forgotten how we're supposed to treat each other, and because of this wokeism or divide and conquer or whatever it is. Well, I understand that, Sonia. But remember that was frowned on. Like I said, like get a room, Sonia. Get a room, would you? you know, People are like, come on, man. And now, it's man on beast, beast on woman, beast on man, woman. It's the same thing back in Rome. Wherever I may roam, yeah, like a wander. That's a planet. There's no such thing as Father didn't create a planet. Planet means wander. So if you're one of those people who think you're living on a planet, you got a lot of abysses knowledge. You got a little learning. Let me learn you. Believe is a verb. It's not faith is a noun, and you got to put legs on faith. So if you're one of these um, people who mix, that's like adding truth to a lie. You know, it's beginning. That's right. It says sorrows, not the end. Wars and rumors of wars. Somebody got it. Heck yeah. That's what they told me. Get a room. See, they do that about people who talk about scripture now because that's taboo. You know what I mean? So if people talk anything about scripture, like, oh man, it's not Sunday, man. Get a church, man. It used to be get a room for a guy and a guy and a girl, a man and a woman, if they were smooching in public, because it was children were supposed to see that. So thanks for bringing it front and center because I'm a little bit militant. So remember, wander. That's the word planet. So there's no such thing as you don't live on a planet. So if you're one of those people, I need you to get the flock out of Dodge. You're a goat, greatest of all time. That's pride. Father had his pride. That's Old Testament. You're bound. Remember, he said, buying the chaff, buying the wheat, and burn them, and he will come back with eyes of fire. He's going to bring the fire. Don't you remember the promise of the rainbow? So this is a ministry, not a religion. Religion is vain. Their customs. Don't you ever read Jeremiah? So most people don't read. They don't have a relationship with the word. In the beginning was the word. They have a religion. So if you're religious, please leave now. Well, Father sees he's inside us. See what the world doesn't. Ever get a room? What the world doesn't see. What's done behind closed doors. Like death that's a doorway. The Vok out of here. That's right. COVID. Watch out. They'll do their masquerade on you. They will. They got people acting like children walking around with face diapers. They did for a minute. Country minute. Told you. Narrow is the way. Like country roads are narrow and broad is the way that leads to hell. That's capitalism. Father hates towers and 58-story Babylonian idolatry or whatever, 66 penthouse like magazine or like Time, like Hitler. Remember, he was Time magazines. Oh, can't say that. That's a bad word in here. Oh, well, we screw the algorithm. That's okay. Like Mr. Charlie Chaplin Mustache Man, Time magazine's Man of the Year, put into office. Well, it's all created. Remember, Father's creator. So we thank Father for creating evil. Isaiah 45:7. It's just a test. This is a test. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. In the event of the of an actual. Remember, Nate said on Canadian Prayer, said, panic now before it's too late. Panic now. Oh, crap, honey, let's do something about that. Preparedness is a lifestyle. It's not something you do in haste. Go buy out the store and hoard and don't leave anything for anybody behind you. Remember the Devok out of here when you bought toilet paper? You go buy the TP for your bunghole right now and nobody will look at you like you're crazy. Remember the man's nuts, grab them. Don't buy too many nuts. Right, better chipmunk's got the brain the size of a pea, like a squirrel, like a brain, like a, yeah. Nobody needs to tell it to put up nuts for the winter, does it? Like a bird, it doesn't need, like it's got the brain the size of a pea and it doesn't need to be told to fly south, like get the flock out of Dodge. All right, never mind. Why just don't dodge it, ram it. All right, remember, father's the horn, the ram. That's Aries. The lamb is Shiloh. So don't get it twisted here. Get the fuck out of here. Devok, the COVID backwards. All right, we're going to rewind. Got to get back in time. Thanks for spending your time here, guys. You can spend it on any other platform. I know there's others and, form like a shape, like clay, the age of clay, not gold dawn, the gold dawn age. But Mr. Warp Speed, that's what's going on down south. He declared a national emergency on the car, like auto autonomous driven tattletale, like nanny state. Who do you think's down there? Be kind, please rewind. I love you, brother. I do. That's like an old Blockbuster thing. The last Blockbuster on the whole freaking the whole is right here in Bend over, Oregon. Well, not Bend over, it's just whatever. So take it deep. So, but anyways, in Bend, there's still a Blockbuster. That is kind of a VCR, like Blinking 12. All right, never mind, guys. Like your VCR. Don't you remember VCR, like Rewind? All right. Got to get back in time. All right. So there is, though. So truly there is, right? If you ever come over here to Bend, make sure you go see the Blockbuster on 3rd Street. It's still there. Yes, you go walk in there. And so you can go back in time. It's like going back into a rhythm cycle, like an Al Gore rhythm. Remember, your children are never going to see snow again. All the polar bears are going to die. The ice caps are all going to melt. Here we are. So, all right, Back to the Future. All right. So, all right. VCR. There you go. VCRs. Remember they rolled that thing out, when they watched that whole thing, and a VCR on the whole rollers, like self-autonomous, self-auto driven, but they pushed, like push and pull, like fission, fusion. Well, remember when the space shuttle Columbia blew up and all those people are still alive? Like the lady, the first one to go to space force. Force. Well, auto-driven, autonomous Mr. Warp Speed. He made a space force. So, got to get so. But anyways, if you're ever over in Bend, don't take it deep over, and you can see there is a Blockbuster that's still there. The last one, there's only one left hanging in there, like Klingons, like Uranus, like toilet paper. Remember the toilet paper debacle? What's toilet paper and Uranus have in common? Well, no, what does toilet paper and your bunghole have in common? They both fly around Uranus looking for Klingons. All right, never mind. I had to go there. Whatever, it's just a matter of time. Had to use it, put it out there, get it, Klingons, hanging by a string, or like a puppet. So careful about the word master. Slinging words. Oh yeah, that was high-tech redneck right there, boys. Dingleberry, there you go. Dingleberry. Like, no, seriously, I had a business that was called Ring Dings. It was called Ding-a-ling. Well, that's the day we're kind of hanging. So, all right. I was called Ding-a-lings. I had bells. I collected bells for years. I'm just sharing. Father knows I'm not lying. So I did. I collected church and school and many like Moss, or most. Remember, most enter by the wide gate, most go to hell. But then I end up renaming it Ding-a-lings. So, Wing Dings is what Wing. That's the final. That's at your final. Well, we had to scale it down. First, it went from Ding-a-lings to Wing Dings at the final. That's all right. I ended up selling the business. It's okay. It's all right. Things don't always pan out like you think they will. So imagine walking up like Long John Silver, Long Dong, or Long John. Remember, like Ding-a-ling? Well, Long John Silver is where you ring the bell when you like the service. So that was the whole idea behind the business. You ring the bell when you like the service. So I had lots of bells. Ever ring my bell? All right, no, that was ring my bell. Cotton candy. Well, sure. Which flavor? Are you bubble gum? All my niggas with the bubble gum, with the LG. All right, so all right, maybe it's whatever, like brain freeze, like ices. They had some flavors like that ice. Well, anyways, so cotton. So what's going on there, USA Incorporated? I haven't seen you in a country minute. USA is a corporation. It's a corporation. Remember? Act 1871. Rock candy, baby. Rock candy. Remember that? Rock candy, just straight up sugar on the stick. One day at a time. One day closer to being with the Hamashiach, the Messiah, So Anthony's entered the room. Anthony's back. One of the regulars coming in here. Grace in the presence. Is in the present time, day, place, and space. So thanks for coming in again, guys. We're talking about wars and rumors of wars. Well, we haven't been, but we will. We brought it up. It was the title. So there's always been wars. Father's always, oh man, that's a bummer connection. I can't stand to do that, but sometimes it is the better thing to do. It is. You live in an apartment, don't you? You have a dog. Find somebody who can take that dog and put it onto some property like where I live. It's a bummer. I hate to do that. I hate to, but man, sometimes when it's a better thing for the animal, it's the responsible thing of the pet owner to do. It's not, animals aren't trophies like girlfriends aren't trophies or wives aren't trophies. That's not what they are. They're not something you possess just to have because they're cool to have or something you can show off or, just something, like I said, something cool to have. They're a relationship. A lot of them like, long time. We love you long time. So I'm not trying to go there. I'm just for real. Keep it real in here. So, but I'm talking about that if it's something it's the right thing to do. A responsible pet owner will find a better home. You don't need to pass animals around. They do struggle when they're passed around from home to home. That's not, but they are resilient like children. They can overcome that. If it's a better thing to do, a responsible pet owner, I'm all for that personally. And I raise animals. I raise animals and don't ever hope that the animals that I raise never are ever rehomed again. But I understand. You don't hold on to something like it's you know, if something can provide a better lifestyle for it, then you try to provide that. That's a good pet owner. So apologize to hear that. Like USA said, that sucks. But if it's the right thing to do, it's the right thing to do. I don't know which situation is or whatever, but I know you got some things going well by the crown, not so much logistically because it's crown law or whatever, but I'm not sure what would push you to that position. But it's always hard to because family is pets are like family. I know I've made some huge sacrifices for my animals. I do now, daily, every day. You know, not that you know, I'm going to do whatever I have to do no matter what, but I am not going to deny that my animals have not been a massive influence on my decisions in my life. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, well, there you go. Certain things like that. So that's a bummer. Um, is there, like I said, I don't know what's going on. I don't know your dog. I do know dogs quite well. So I don't know why dogs are normally not, they're territorial. So not always. Some dogs won't have no problems around any other dogs. Like Pants, you won't have no problems with no dogs. You're not gonna go after nobody. He come after you if you came on this property, probably. That's is different though. As a human being, not and he normally is very nice to you. But if you were here when I wasn't here, he wouldn't be nice to you. So Again, I don't know what the position is. Sometimes a dog is just being jealous and he's not even going after another dog. Pants could be jealous. Oh, here he comes. So he could be a little jellyfish, but he's not mean. He could be jelly when he's trying to protect. He's not mean to other dogs, but if somebody's nice to him and now he's going to be trying to protect the person that's being nice to him, be a little jelly bone. I know animals, so I don't know what your position is, their connection, but that sucks. Because like I said, it could be something like that, where your dog was just being protected, where somebody came up and being nice to your dog, and now your dog's protective to their dog because they're trying to be nice. That's the normal behavior. Oh no, I can't see through that. I'm so TikTok brain caught in the moment. Your dog was mean, you know. So I don't know if there was an actual confrontation. So um, after me growling, I mean after flipping the dog around and injuring the dog, and dogs have, you know. All right, moving on. So apologize for hearing that connection, but like I said, I know animals. I wouldn't breed them if I didn't know them. You know, so hell, dogs have been nicer to me than most human. This dog right here has never lied, cheated, or stolen anything from me. Nothing. As loyal as it gets. So I would hate to have to part ways with him. You can't get no more loyal than this dog right here. He is bone. He's the biggest bone I ever had. All he ever knows how to do is be a good boy. He's got a little ADHD. Can't stand still. And he's magnetic. So apologize there, connection. I hear you. He's a crazy boy. He's a crazy boy. Um, yeah, so you hear what I'm saying, connection. And I don't know your whole, I don't know your whole position, but I know dogs like this dog is a super friendly dog. Whenever be mean to a dog or a human, but it can be a little jelly, be a little jelly belly. He can be a little jealous. Start growling and be all, but but he's not like that ever. When it comes to sharing, if somebody's nice to him, even if it's somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Somebody else was with another dog and they're nice to Pants, he's going to protect that person. Like, oh, be nice to me from their dog, you know? So something like that could come up. It could be shown as a sign of aggression. That's not aggression, that's jealousy. And he's not being aggressive. There's a difference. Like I said, a dog picking up a dog and flopping them around and, and being, but I breed dogs. So I'm pretty, I think I'm pretty well versed at this. I remember before I've had an issue where Tango jumped up on a little girl because she kept trying to hug him and squeeze him and putting in him a headlock, and Tango pushed the little girl away. And the lady's mom said that Tango tried to bite her. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, yeah, let's bring the cops in here. They know the difference between a bite. Cops see bites. A dog biting and a scratch. That's a scratch, not a bite, you dumbass. Stop accusing my dog. Remember Biggest? You remember Big? And and that little girl I kept telling those people's parents, stop. Tell your little girl to stop. I understand Tango's super tolerant, but she's literally putting him in a headlock, trying to squeeze him like giving him a bear hug he doesn't want. So he eventually pushed that little girl away. We got to talking or whatever, and then she did the same thing. And then, oh my God, he bit her. No, he didn't. He pushed her the hell away. Those are nail marks, not bite marks. So there's a difference between being aggressive. It's like Kevin's dog. I think Kevin's dog took the chickens, and because they were out of the pen, grabbed a hold of him and brought him over, and they had a heart attack and put him over here on the lawn. It was his dog. They didn't shred the chickens, eat the chickens, get all the blood. There was feathers all over the place. Chickens were laid in a cosmos and in orderly arrangements. And he kind of got a little offended, like, well, I'm going to kill my dog. Well, I understand he's a farmer, and that's, I said, no, you're not. Your dog's not a chicken killer. My chickens were out of their area. She thinks they were out of their area. She's putting them back in an area where she thinks they should be. They had a heart attack. Your dog's not a chicken killer. The chickens there'd be feathers everywhere. The bodies would be shredded. These things were laying like 2 spoons in a drawer. Your dog is not an aggressive animal. It's just like with Pants, or even with Tango. She used to give Tango a hard time, bite him every time, but she wasn't mean. She's a freaking like a nanny, like chickens. Speaking of chickens, like a pecking order, she wanted to be the top bird, but she wasn't mean. She never would go after Tango and she just, just one quick little, I'm the boss, but it would never lead. They never got into any. He used to fight with Tango all the time, and not like that because he was jealous. Jellyfish. And they wouldn't try to kill each other. They would just be jealous. He's not like that in his new body. He's been reincarnated. But he was in his old body, and he wasn't like that, though. They were just brothers, and they fought like me and my brothers fought. We weren't trying to beat the brakes off each other. We were just trying to take the title. That's just the way it works. You had to grow up like that. So I apologize, man. I don't know what your situation is, Connection. Your dog could be aggressive. I don't know how it was raised. If you had it before, if somebody hurt the dog, it could be aggressive. Dogs, it depending on the breed or whatever, can carry that aggression, such as pits, for years before you can breed that out. Not breed, excuse me, raise that, takes years of a lot of real militant type work and it could happen, so I don't know what it is, but I know generally dogs are not like that in nature. You know what I'm saying? They're not. Dogs are not, what did Bob say? Bob says, a dog only hollers when it gets hit. Right? See what I'm saying? If a dog's aggressive, it's because it's probably been hit. It's been mistreated by its owner. Dogs aren't like that generally by nature. They're not towards humans. No, they're not. They have to be raised. Even pit bulls, which are not like that. Pit bulls are one of the most loving, caring, sensitive, kind, eager to please breeds on this rock for a canine. If raised properly, I'm not advocating for hurting a dog, but if a pit bull was raised for 2 or 3 years and nobody ever mistreated that dog, you could probably try to beat it with a hammer and it would still love you. I'm serious. Pit bulls are not that way. No, they're not. You know nothing about the canine species. They get a bad rap. Now they have a locking jaw and can be raised to be, but normally it's because their owner, they're not like that generally in nature. So a dog is not going to be like that. Bull snot. See what I'm saying? So I'm going to advocate for the canine species because Father created him. They are man's best friend because a dog normally, now again, I've talked about this. A dog should be eager to please. You know what I mean? A dog like this dog, you just seen him come up to me. He's all up in my neck. That's all he wants. He wants to see his owner eager to please. Now, some dogs aren't like that. Put them down. They're not meant to be dogs. They're not meant to be pets. So if a dog is not eager to please, it's never meant to be a pet. That's how I look at it. I don't care what species it is, or excuse me, what breed it is, a canine. And I don't care if it's a pit bull. If that animal is raised from its beginning days to, a couple, 2, 3, some animals like labs take few years to become mature. It will never go back. It would never do that. Now it might try to protect itself because that's an instinct, but it's not going to do that. Nope, it won't. It'll probably just, like I said, sit there and let you beat it with a hammer. I'm not for beating animals. So animals are generally, canine species are the way they are, or the way they are raised. You become a product of your environment. So apologize for hearing that. Got to put up this big wall on this Connection. It sucks because they don't take this in consideration. An animal shows any kind of aggression. It's like I had a dog walking down I had a cop walking down my driveway, and he tried to shoot Tango, and Bone came up and saved his life. He did. And if Bone wouldn't come up and like I said, he wouldn't. I said, hey, now come on, my dogs are not trying to hurt you. They don't fucking know you. I apologize for cursing. I haven't cursed on this ministry in a long time. but they don't know you. Put your gun away, dude. That's what a dog does. It's protecting. It doesn't know you. You walk down this driveway and it doesn't growl at you. Something's wrong with the dog. It's supposed to do that. It's an alarm clock. It's letting me know you're not from here. This is not your property. You're not. Why are you on my property? Why are you walking down this driveway? Put your gun away. See what I'm saying? A dog is going to show protection towards its own. It's some are jealous. This dog right here, he's always been jealous. Second generation, still jealous. Not like that, like he was his first time. He like a chicken. He'd sit on all the eggs. Wouldn't let with the toys. Wouldn't let his brother have any of the toys. Gather up all the toys in the yard. Sit on them like a freaking hen. Yes, he was. He's not like that now, but he still has that a little bit of jealousy in him. You know what I'm saying? There you go, Sonny. That's what I'm saying. You can't get a dog. As I told the cop, seriously, I think that my Tango that I just recently had to put down here, 4 or 5 months ago, that I wouldn't have him if his brother wouldn't have come and kind of did the same thing. At that time, I said, all right, I stay, and I told him to go inside, and they both went inside. Once his brother came over, because they were kind of like brothers, and they were brothers, they grew up, and they went in the house, they went away. And they didn't bother cop, like, dude, what are you doing, man? How do you expect to walk up on somebody's property and a dog not to growl at you? And you pull your flipping gun out. A dog's going to show aggression. It's not aggression. That's protection. There's a difference. He wasn't trying to bite you. He was growling at you. He was going around in a circle because you were going around in a circle. If you just would have stood still, because that cop started going around in a circle with his gun, and Tango started doing a circle around him. If his brother wouldn't have come up, he would have shot him. You know what I'm saying? He would have shot my dog. And that's what I tear it into. Dude, like, put your gun away. Dude, what are you doing? These dogs are protecting their space. They don't know who you are. You are a foreigner. How do you expect to walk down a driveway and a dog doesn't bark? There's a difference between aggression. That's what I'm saying, connection. So there you go. There's a difference. Showing aggression and protection is different. And I'm not saying I don't know your situation. Thanks for bringing it around circle. If he didn't bite anybody, then that's just doing its damn job. A dog is an alarm clock. Like I said, think about it. Somebody walks on your property, and I don't mean to go there, because think about this, connection, real quick. You've seen the SWAT raid, haven't you, connection? You remember the SWAT raid? I don't mean to go there because I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to pull that scab off that freaking old wound. But remember the SWAT raid? Did you hear Tango make even a single? You heard me talking about my animals and thank you, I love and love you, Tango, and but did you hear them make a peep? They were such good boys. They were such good boys during that really the most difficult one, still wagging his tail. So they were good boys. They did, and I wanted them. You think I wanted them, but no. Remember, I even went back from my door and had to shut my dogs into something where I knew I just had 5 tear gas canisters lobbed into this cabin. But, that sucks, man. I apologize for hearing that because, All right, speaking of puppy dogs, it's time to give my puppy dogs some, it's dinner time. It's dinner time for the puppies. So, and my kitty. I haven't seen my kitty in a minute, so she's fine. So she's out there somewhere doing her thing. So I seen the chickens eating some mice. She's bringing the chickens mice. The kitten's bringing chicken. Juniper Acres. That's gonna be the new property, by the way. Juniper is bringing the kittens. The kitten's bringing the chickens mice. Well, whatever that is. I've almost been 2 years. Can you believe that connection? Almost been 2 years. So, whatever. Life's not Burger King. You can't always have it your way. So, all right, let's get the puppy fed and the kitty fed. I'm pretty sure my birds are still running around. get darker later, so. Time for puppin' dinner. Puppy gravy with the Berkeys. Puppy gravy. You were a good boy today. Let's go see if the kitty's, how much food she's got left. Not much. Had a couple cats eating off me. Nothing. Not a damn thing. Eat some dinner, sweetheart. I'll let you in a minute. I know it's chilly out there. Let you in a minute. Let's see, maybe I'll eat a minute here. Oh, I'm gonna have to get up here soon and get some firewood, guys. I'm gonna eat some of my lunch here. Taco chicken salad. Almost wonder if I should throw this in a burrito shell and eat this on a burrito. Eating a chicken salad. Oh, might not be better on. That might be better on a burrito. Give me a momento, por favor. I'm trying to put some smack down on this here. Smack down. Put the smack down. No. Almost when it's hit. Put that on a plate. Agape. See how our fire is doing here. My fan is not turning very much. Why not? Oh, time to put it in there. Oh, last piece that I got for now, huh? Oh, there's another piece. There's another piece in here. All right. We'll have to go here in about an hour or so. All right, I'm making myself something to eat. Hold on. Stand by. Stand by. We're warming up tortillas on the wood stove. Get some frijoles and some oil. Uh-oh, drop my tongs. Drop my tongs. Let's put those back here. Put those over here. What are we doing on our fire here? Oh, yeah. Charmin? Ass paper? Charmin? Is that what that says? Charmin? Charmin? Alright. Do this down. Easy for my bumhole. Oh. All right. Sonia's out of here. See you later, Sonia. Oh, I made myself a burrito. Give me uno momento. Mm-hmm. So what's going on in your neighborhood? Do you have any cartel? Very good. Remember, Mr. Warp Speed declared a national emergency day one on the cartel. So I feel like everybody in the country that I live in is kind of half asleep right now, just kind of asleep at the wheel. Not drunk driving, but asleep at the wheel. Pretty fire. So what say you? What's your comment on this current State of the Union? Remember, I think tonight is the State of the Union address. So tell me about your State of the Union. Mm-hmm. State of the Union, huh? Union or corporation? I'm from Maine. Mad Hatter. Batty. Oh, like Patty the Batty. Mm. We're eating a homemade burrito. I only eat burritos on days that end in Y. Why? Like Yod? Oh. Paid your dues, huh? Nope. He pours out a just measure, remember? He's the accountant. He holds us all accountable for our actions, so nobody's going to get away with nothing. Nope. The creator is not in the sky. The creator is in all things. Father creates evil, calamity, and chaos. Yes, he does. He creates everything written, everything that ever was. If it hasn't been written, he writes that. He pushes the button. He pushes the woman's hand. Even if it hasn't happened, he creates everything that ever will be. All glory to the Creator, sovereign. What did Paul say? Cut it off, circumcise the outer man. We have a without blemish, spotless. He wants to find our garments without spotless, without blemish, washed white, clean in the blood of the Lamb. Mm. Talk about paying a price, huh? He paid the bride price for his bride. Yep, for his bride. He didn't pay the price for the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction from the foundation of the world. They weren't purchased. Kind of like Cain and Abel, or Jacob and Esau. He left out. Well, the inheritance was stolen by Esau, but remember Cain, he was left out of the will, or the lineage. So Will you be given your inheritance? That's the question. Do you have a crown? Remember, you have to have a crown to fit set at the feet of Shiloh. He said, I come quickly in Revelation 3:11. I come quickly, let no one take your crown. So do you have a crown? Or are you taking up your cross daily, as he tells you to do in the book of Luke and Matthew? Most people don't know what a cross is. Nobody hung from crosses. They didn't hang the Messiah from a cross. That's paganism. So that's what the watered down. You've been watered down. Mm-hmm. This burrito is fire. It is good. Oh. Are you earning your stripes? Remember, they lashed him, they whipped him. He said, follow after me. Are you like a commander commands, to like chevrons, chevrons and rockers, like private, first class, or corporal, sergeant, chevrons, or rockers, first sergeant? Are you earning your stripes? He said, do what I did. Mm-hmm. Follow after me. Paul's writings, he said conform. Man, I'm done. That was good. Woo! Thank you, Father. What the heck of a burrito. Heck of a burrito. Dad couldn't eat it all. It was too big. Too big of a burrito. So, all right. So, I entitled this, entitled, well, and you're not entitled to anything. It's like deserve or entitled, like an after dinner snack. We're not. Remember your inheritance. Loins girded in my service, he said, until I return. So what happens if you die? Well, it has to be up until the moment you die. So the eye is the lamp of the body. So he said, have extra oil, like a vessel. Who's steering the ship here? Like I said, you're earning your stripes. You're out there being a vessel. The body is the temple, like a vessel. The eye is the lamp of the body, like a lamp, like a vessel, like a vessel. Hallelujah. It's the word, man. The word. Most people are they're spinning. He said, don't add, twist, or take away. Don't pervert. Most people are perverted. They are. That's just the world I live in. Remember, world? I live in a world. That means to pervert. It's the Hebrew word froward. If you'd study anything at all, instead of being religious, religion will make you all watered down. So you don't study. Remember, we're supposed to add to our faith, like it says in the book of Timothy. I don't know it all, and I don't want to know it all. I only care about personally. The gospel is what hyper focuses me. It does. I do. I get like over the target, Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I didn't always understand that. For a long time, I didn't understand that for the longest time. But narrow is the way. Remember, narrow is the gospel. So most people don't have any gospel. Some other gospel, like Paul wrote about, some other gospel. You know what the other gospel is? I know what the other gospel is. I can help you with that if you'd like to. If you don't know where that's at, just add a single jot. That's the other gospel. Add a tittle. That's the other gospel. He said, don't add or take away. There's only one true gospel, and that's the one that's unchanged. It's not perverted. So that's what religion does to the gospel. It perverts it. So thank you, Father, for the ministry. So I can come in here and share it the narrow way, the hados, like a sieve, like a press. The wine press pushes us it from both sides. It's the word theolobo. Your friends don't like you because you don't do the world, and you're not doing the spinning and the perverting, and your friends don't like it, and your family don't like it, and they don't like it at work, and then you just keep getting pressed and pressed and pressed and pressed and pressed and pressed and pressed. Yep. Straight is the gate. Straight. That's the word theolobos. Theolobo, to be pushed from both sides. Theolobos, to be pinched from both sides so you'll enter through that straight gate. He tells us to enter through the straight gate in the book of Matthew. He tells us in the back of Matthew 24:6 that there will be wars and rumors of wars. Are you ready for war? Like I said, you're earning your stripes. You're putting on the whole armor of the Father. Paul's writings in the book of Ephesians. Put on the whole armor of the Father, the Most High. Wear it. Helmet of salvation. Breastplate of armor. You don't know nothing about that, do you? You're an awful quiet bunch. You're the silent majority when it comes to the word. Well, thank you. That's all right. Thank you, Father. It's better not to speak on. Remember, he said, don't add. Add. Or don't take away. Even a period or a jot is what it says. Jot. That's a period. Not a dot, but a period. Now they're spinning on that dot. That's the word planet. There's no such thing as planet. The Father didn't create any planets. Planet is the word wander. Satan is the word deceiver. Most people are deceived when it comes to the word. Very deceived, very perverted, very warped. Planet. They're Planet of the Apes. Barrel full of monkeys. I'm not sure what kind of game they're playing. So it's all a big game to them, I guess. That's okay. What are you here to do? Most people don't do anything but punch the clock. They fight the system, fight with the. They don't stand against the beast. They fight a clock like 9 to 5. There we go. There's a good one. 9 to 5. They have no system or chain. They're not chained to their own supply. They have a dependency, like a chemical or a drug. Their drug is the system, is the beast. Religion. There's another good drug for you. Anybody on the religion drug, you take religion, shoot that up. Maybe you're on the government, you slam the hopium. Remember old Vomit? He ran on hopium. Mr. Warp Speed, he's a chain. No, he was a. Yeah, it was hopium. And then Kool-Aid. You're gonna drink the Kool-Aid with Mr. Warp Speed. You go on Warp Speed with Mr. Kool-Aid. Like Kool-Aid man, like drinking the Kool-Aid. Drink the Kool-Aid so you can J6. What a circus show it is, man. It is. Most people fall for it. The lamestream media, lame. Like a duck in a pond that is sitting there waiting to be shot. It is what it is. It's a war on for their mind. They don't have no street sense, street smarts. Makes no sense. like America that makes no sense. It doesn't add up. No, not even a single cent anymore. Nope. America. So, all right, you guys are getting quiet on me. What's going on there? What's on your radar? It is a live stream. There is a comment section. It is live. You have the ability to. Yod is a letter. Start cosmos is an orderly arrangement. An orderly arrangement of yods is a word. Father is the word. What say you? You let Father speak for you, or you let the world speak for you. Remember WHIRLED, world, to twist, pervert, warp, or do you WORLD, world on a ball, planet of the apes, barrel full of monkeys? Guess I'm hanging out with the silent. See no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil tonight, huh? Today, tonight, whatever side of this rock that you walk, north, east, west, and south, get with the news. Do you live on a rock, or do you live on a block, or do you live on a ball in the third dimension from the sun, rock, and from Mars? 33, like their Masonic symbology. They like to do it by the number gematria. Do you speak in numbers? Like, welcome to the turning fifth of the age of the 12, like a clock, like 12 eggs to 1 dozen. He said he loved all flesh under this covenant, but not everybody. Most people go to hell. So how do you like that? That's the gospel, baby. It is. It's in the book of Matthew. Matthew is 13. Remember, 13 books, 13 apostles. Remember, these scriptures are the gospel. So Matthew, wars, and enter through the straight gate. Broad is the way that leads to the wide gate, leads to hell. Remember, he has the key. He's got the key to that wide gate. So wide is the gate, broad is the way that leads to the Apollyon, the king. Remember, they have a king. They have a king over them. An angelos is the Greek word. Angel is the English. Inglés, hablo English. Spanish. Espanol, you speak. How about English? English is angel. Angel, the definition of an angel is messenger. Messenger. They have a messenger over them. The messenger of the bis is the word knowledge. Bis, write that down. BYSS. That's a Greek word, bis. The A in Greek negates, the cancels. So the word bis is knowledge. Hell is no knowledge. Hell isn't below your feet. God's not in the sky. Earth's not below your feet. Heaven's not above your head. It's not 2026. God is not in the sky. That's religion. That's modern, new mystery, Babylonian religion. I don't care what demon nation, denomination you put on it, it's still that religion. It's nonsense, like America, that makes no sense, like the Gulf of America. How about the beast out of the sea? Beast. How many beasts are there in Scripture? How about that? Scripture. Notice I didn't say the word book is Bible. Bible means book. It was written on stone tablets. I'm not sure what these people are smoking. Some kind of rock, if you ask me. So their hearts are wax cold, smoking some kind of wax. Maybe they're yabba dabba doing too much dab oil. Wrong kind of oil. You're supposed to have extra oil, but not to be dabbed out of your mind. What did you say about America? I said the Gulf of America, like America, the most abomination nation corporation. It's not a country, it's a corporation. Remember? Corp, like dead. Are you a dead man walking? Like a merchant number, they bonded you. Or your death number, death certificate. Well, or birth, for your birthright. But you wouldn't know anything about land, air, and water law, would you? Used to be a constitutional republic, now it's a corporation. The Act 1871, now a former like belt, get smacked or beaten. Well, no, like former like House, Congress, and Senate, like 3-time. Supposed to be adjudicated. You know what judicial, legislative, and executive branch. You know anything about the Constitution there? Most people don't know anything about America. America, nation founded by Puritans, not pilgrims. They were Puritans fleeing the Catholic Church because they were slaughtering Christians. We're not going to the Mass. Mass is the eating of human flesh. It was the feast of the Yule. Christopher Columbus did not discover America. Grow up. You are a child. You do not understand celestial, biblical, scriptural, or understand history is written in a book, and that's not. The victor gets the spoils. The loser gets the STF. You know what your Fifth Amendment Miranda rights are? You know what any constitutional rights? First Amendment, the right to, well, speak. Congress shall establish no law prohibiting the exercise of free speech, of the press, the religion, the right to redress grievances, the right to peacefully assemble. Remember, you don't need a permit to assemble. So, permit. Do you need to ask permission? So, most people don't know I was a prior law enforcement pig. People in government prior worked for the federal, been military police in the army. So, jackboot thug, uniform code of military justice, had the boot on the neck of the nation. So, I would know. Show some respect. Yeah, show some childish knowledge. America, the most abomination was. I'm a prior veteran with 1,000+ military in all 180 countries. So, show some knowledge. Show some bish there, Jim. Grow up, child. Quit acting like a child. This is an adult-only stream. Didn't you see the box checked is for adult only? Remember the number of maturity to be 7? Time to grow up, Jim. Stop living in your little clamshell, little stuck under a rock. Remember the word rock is Petra. He said, I am the Petra. So you got to earn it, remember? I'm a veteran. So you're not my battle buddy. You ain't got my 6 back. So get out of here with your broke back mountain. I don't share. I don't sup. And I don't, not, absolutely not. He said, come out of my people. So I learned from my mistakes. So you might want to learn from yours and shut your pie hole. Well, American Pie, get it? Spinning on a ball. Planet of the Apes. You sound like some kind of a barrel full of monkeys in here. Remember? Round and round. Like a circus wheel, like a carnival. Speak up there. I only give you twice. I don't sup with vipers. Remember? You know I was a snake before you let me in. Then he let Joe Biden. Remember? Like 2 times. So go ahead. Spit some more of your venom. Respect. You're talking to a United States Army veteran, so think about, you might want to at ease, soldier. You know what that means, at ease? I don't converse with Americans. Oh, well, you're on the interweb. Okay, goodbye. Well, I'm an American and I don't want to be an American, but I am. It doesn't change the fact that I was birthed in this country, so it doesn't mean that I don't still stand for the right of the people in this country. Although I don't like the country, it doesn't mean that I don't like the right of the people. I didn't stand up for a flag, for people, for lame ass people. Ass is somebody who can't learn. I stood up for the right, constitutional right of the people, the right to choose. So, see ya. I choose to have moderators, and they do their job in here. So thank you, Father, for allowing for us to moderate. We're not condemning. Jim can come back at a later time and date if he can correct the error of his ways, like Air 404 error. Get it? 404. digital, get down. All right, now let's get the flock out of Devok. Get the Vok out of here. That's the way it works. It's COVID backwards. We recycle, renew, reuse, and repurpose all of this. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Remember, Old Testament, New Covenant that he made, a repurpose. Remember, he made amendments. Well, he was the testor of that will. Can you have sex with your sister? Are you supposed to sup with vipers? Can you go whack somebody who killed your brother? No, you can't. So you might want to get with this new covenant. Renew. Like 2 witnesses. The new covenant, new purpose, renew, reuse. What's your purpose? Why are you here walking this rock? Father's the Word. Are you sharing the Word? The Word became flesh. Are you sharing the Hokadesh, the Spirit, under this testament? Or are you just some John Smith or Jim or Jack or Bob or Terry or Mary, like bloody blood. The word baptizo. Be covered with, overcome with blood. To be completely overcome from the inside and out. Baptizo. Blood, pitch, stain, or die. Like Yellow Lake, like pissing in the wind over here. Yellow Lake. Yellow Lake die. All right, whatever, man. I don't care. Jimmy crack corn. Take your corn syrup, daddy, God, somewhere else. I am the great Corn Julio. Listen here, Beavis. All right. Hey, corn syrup, man. That's they drive corn cars, remember? What do they put in them? Ethanol. What do you think ethanol is? Corn. The Cornation. The great Cornation, Corn Julio. Beavis and a bunch of buttheads in America. That's all people do is buttheads. Remember? Goats and sheep. Well, no. Donkeys and elephants. Get it? Like an ass, like a donkey, button heads. All right. All right. They wouldn't know what head is. They wouldn't know how to use their head. They got no street smarts, let alone. Well, bis and the knowledge is knowledge of the words. So it's not for me to try to change them. You're not turning black to white or white to black or orange. How about orange? I want to bring up that. Tell me what word rhymes with orange. That's why he paints his face orange. Badman orange. Remember, parallel. You can't. What word rhymes with orange? I'll send you $1,000 Cash App. No, I won't. I don't have any money to spare. So I'll send you a brownie button if you can tell me a word that rhymes with or orango orange, like Badman orange, like the sun used to could. It used to be orange. It was. Cycles ago, many cycles. We love you long time. Cycles. Uh-oh, somebody's YouTube's holding this. An elephant in a rut. Why would they not allow that? What the hell is going on with you, YouTube? They wouldn't let Sonia said, have you ever seen an elephant in a rut? No, I don't think I want to. I don't, animals in a rut, like a buck, they tend to get a little bit, well, hard to handle. How about that? Like, what's your handle? Like Sonia, Q7, Quebec 7 Bravo. That'd be your handle. How copy? So they wouldn't let him or her. We have another Sonia in here. We have a Sonia that's a moderator. Sonia is from Oregon. She's organized. So not to give up her 10-20 how copy. So is that a good copy? You got a 5x5 how copy? So, good stuff. All right. Thank you, Father. Once again, thought I'd come in and we titled this Wars and Rumors of Wars. So wars are something that has always been part of this testament that Father creates wars. Father's the creator of wars. Father creates all things. So if you know about war, if you want to know anything about war, go Father created the war. He did. He creates all things. So the reason why we war is because Father, well, the military industrial complex, remember, the love of money is the root of all evil. That's why we war, because they can sell lots of weapons. So Halliburton, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Palantir, all these big, corporations. It's profitable. When all else fails, they take you to war. That's what Gerald Celente said. The economist Gerald Celente. When all else fails, they take you to war. So people don't even talk about it here in America. Outside, when the bombs are falling in your backyard, you'll say something, but you won't say anything about America, like a disease. If you don't admit that you have a disease, you can't fix it. That's the first stage of alcoholism, is denial. So what's your disease? You're punch drunk on the world, aren't you? You don't even care what's going on in your own backyard unless there's bombs falling. See how that works? That's America. They won't do anything. So How much longer before these Mexican cartel, how many decades do they allow people to come across the border? Decades, not just during one, many administrations. It actually was the backbone. I've talked about that in this country. So most Latino, Hispanic, they don't come from Spain, but most people who are Latino or from Mexico or come over here and work their, off. Get a job, pay taxes, come over the border, first job, first day they get here, pay taxes the first day they get here. All these Americans bitching about, not all of them, but many, on some kind of card, stamp, not in a line because they don't do that anymore, but it's a digital line food stamp card bitching about Mexicans coming into the country as they provided decade after decade. Like Decamite, put your hands up, like, many decades supply the food on their table. And they bitch about Mexicans. Wouldn't know the difference between a Salvadorian and a Mexican or somebody from Ecuador. They wouldn't know the difference. They don't know melanin. Somebody who has melanin, they're more, some people are less or more melanated. That's the American. They're ignorant. It's a melting pot too. That's the funny thing. It's supposed to be a nation of immigrants. Now they're trying to keep out all the immigrants. I hate this current, State of the Union. So today is the State of the Union address. So what is Mr. Warp Speed going to say? What's your? Maybe we'll cancel this stream and we'll rename it State of the Union. Tell me about your current State of the Union in America. What is the State of the Union in this country right now? What is the State of the Union in your country? Think about many countries right now where it's literally civil unrest. All those protests in Iran. You wouldn't know nothing about protest America. You got your kings rituals, the no kings, kings, no kings, like kings, kings that wear crowns, but it's just a ritual. They do rituals with you. So rich, like the elite, no, if anybody at those kings rituals was starving, they'd still be out there on the streets today, but nobody was starving. So they're all prepaid plan, like a program or like like a card that you buy at the Walmart or whatever your local, let them track you at your grocery store. Plastic, you're a plastic man is what you are. You're like digital, like a microchip. You're like a Dorito, like a one eye, whatever, Illumini. Are you illuminated like a one eye? Are you red eye? Are you red eye to go? So whatever. I try, man. Come in here and share the word, but people are all caught up in the world, spinning on a ball, corkscrewing and spinning on a block rock in the third dimension through time and space. So I don't want them in my space. I wish they would just stay out of my space. I don't need them. I don't have, Father doesn't want us to sup with vipers, round like a donut, round like a snake, round like a hole, snakes in the ground. How about snakes on a plane? Snakes on a plane. Had to change it up for a minute. What are you doing, puppy? All right, we're not getting very much talk here tonight, huh? You guys are quiet. You sure are quiet, Butch. Yeah, no worries, Sabrina. I'm not talking. I know you. You're costly, but the rest of this gaggle here that we got here, like Taco Tuesday, like only eat tacos on days that end in Y. All that burrito was pretty good. I couldn't eat the whole thing. I couldn't eat it all. I can't. But all right, guys. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna get up here for a minute. I gotta go get firewood. I do. I gotta go get some firewood. I put the last piece in there. So I want to keep my puppy warm, and my kitty likes coming here sometimes at night. Keep the kitty warm. I might have to get up here. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up. I'll come back on here. We'll do another stream. We'll rename the stream just because I think Mr. Warp Speed's doing the State of the Union, and it's hard to have a conversation with anybody really anymore. It isn't, unless you guys are a regular on the stream. It seems like this channel is so shadow banned now that we just don't get much more conversation very often. And it's not like I don't mind coming in here and sharing the gospel, but you know, people don't even realize that the war is here now. You know, just because it doesn't look like Mexico in America doesn't mean that it won't be like that. What are you doing? What are you doing? You've already been fed. You've been loved on. You got to go with Dad today. What do you want? What do you single want? Is it time to go get some wood? You heard Dad say get wood. He likes to go get wood with the dad. He likes to get wood. He does. He goes out there with the dad. So it's pretty wet. It rained out there today, so it's going to be a little sloppy, a little dirty, a little messy. You are a good boy. So yeah, he is such a good one. He's on such a good single job. Look at him. He's just trying to give Dad lovins. What are you trying to give Dad, a handshake? I don't even have my hand out. You're trying to give me shakes and I don't even have my hand out. You're the best guy that ever did have. You're the best single one. We still got a little light. Let's go get some wood before the light. I don't mind doing it in the dark, but it'd be a whole lot easier to see the wood we're getting when it's not. So. All right, guys. Love you, brothers, sisters. I'll come back on a little bit here, do a little study or something, come back up. So, love you. Again, thought I'd throw up the title of Wars and Rumors of Wars. So, here we are, you know, involving, remember, Sabrina's in Canada and Donald Trump. Is literally beating the crap out of Canadians. Did you see that, Sabrina? What are you doing? He's so lovely. Do you see Warp Speed in his tweet? Beating the crap out of America or out of Canadians? Why would the president of this country, the POTUS of this corporation, put out video tweets of him beating the crap out of Canadians? Isn't that stupid? God, I hate being part of this country sometimes for stuff like that. Canada has been our ally for how long? He's so funny. Would you come over here and give me some lemons? Give me some lemons. Oh, squeeze the boy. Squeeze the boy. I love him. You're the best boy. So, okay. So I'm glad I'm not the only one going, oh my gosh, you know, this is hard to watch. It's so hard to watch. When the POTUS of my country puts out tweets about our North, American ally that's been our ally for decades, and now he's putting out literally video footage of us beating the crap out of our ally. Freaking, this is such a hard time to be here, but an amazing time to be a witness. Like there's nobody here. All right. No, you're not here, Sabrina. Oh, there you are. So, all right. Love you. Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Links are in the description if you're watching the restream. You don't want to support the ministry. Whoa.